All right, welcome to a special edition of the Let It Fly show during the College World Series. And who better to come on right after a no-hitter in that kind of weather by Arkansas, the head coach of the University of Nebraska, Matt Rhule. How you doing?
I'm great. What an amazing environment. It's so cool to be here.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to go to many games?
I've not. I came up yesterday and just kind of hung out. I was actually walking through kind of over by Rosenblatt Stadium, and this guy stopped me. He said, Coach Rhule, Coach Rhule, Coach Rhule. I said, hey, how you doing? It was Dustin Pedroia.
No way.
Yes, and he's Phil Snow's nephew.
Oh, that's incredible.
So go back to when I was a GA at UCLA years ago.
Yeah.
Phil said, hey, Julie and Matt, you guys want to come to a game? My nephew's playing Arizona State. Went to the game.
Yeah.
He was a really good player. Arizona. Like 10 years, 12 years later, I said, hey, how's your nephew doing? What's he doing now? Selling insurance? He's like, he's the American League MVP. So he's walking around. No one knows who he is. It's so cool to see how many people come to Omaha, come to Nebraska, see what's here.
Let's talk about Sunday. You got on the grill, right? Won the competition for the Smash Brothers.
Crushed it.
Tell us about the Smashburger competition and how you guys won it.
So Brendan Stein is a really good guy.
Yeah.
I've seen him in one light. Like he's fundraising, shaking hands, cool, play golf. He was sending me messages like, we have to win this thing. I'm like, Brendan, I'm not a cook.
Right.
He was so intense. I felt the pressure, but yet we came through, and it was fun. It was fun to see all the people that were there, get out in the community, shake people's hands, talk to people. And I think we made a pretty good burger, honestly. The egg on top was my idea. Everything else was Brendan, but it was kind of cool to win.
It's called the Pipeline Burger, right?
It was the smash, re-smash. So what they've done is now you have a smash burger. You stick meat, you put it down, you smashed it. What Omaha Steaks has done, which is really cool, is they've smashed it for you.
Nice.
But I told Brendan, I'm like, bro, you're like 300 pounds of muscle.
Yes.
You should cook it, unsmash, then re-smash. So like it's kind of like an homage to Nebraska. Be in the present.
Yeah.
Go back to your past. Come back to the present.
Right.
Re-smash it. Pipeline. Put an egg on top for the West Coast vibe.
Yeah, sure.
Pretty good.
That's perfect. June obviously was incredibly busy for you, for your staff, and everything. Is July the time you guys get a chance to catch up with family, hang out a little bit?
Yeah, this month is crazy. We basically are working every day in June until next Monday. Yeah. So at that point, take a breath, get away. I think our players need us to be away. They need like Dylan, Marquise Buford, Deshaun Singleton. They need a chance to run the team, and they need a chance to work out. So we're here now. We're recruiting camps. Obviously, CWS, we come down here, see people. But starting next week, we'll get away for a little bit. Let the guys run the team.
We were talking earlier about you are, and I've been here since 2002, you're the best representative for the University of Nebraska. There's been here in a very long time, the way you get out with everyone. Dylan's like that too. You guys kind of very similar in that way, like being among the people representing the university?
Well, I'll say this about me and my family first. We decided that we wanted to inoculate the public and inoculate our kids to what we've stepped into. So if you never see us, when you see us, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. If you see us all the time, you're like, hey Matt, hey, how you been? So, but also like before I'm a coach, I'm a father, husband, and my girls, my son, they're the most important things in the world to me. So I came down here not for anything else. I love baseball. You're a friend. I come here. I like to see friends. Yeah. So I think that's first. Yeah. For Dylan, I said this the other day. I went on with Sip and those guys. Yeah. Some people had said to me, I don't read the internet, but some people said to me like, hey, I know he's getting paid a lot of money to go do these things. Part of my camp voice. I've been yelling at campers to get in line. So, but some people had said like, hey, I know he's getting paid. He's not getting paid to do this. We love Nebraska. Right. And we love Nebraska because we love the people. These 3 visit weekends we had a kid last week. He went on his visit, came to my house. Then he went to Coach Osborne's house to hang out with Coach Osborne. Oh, wow. Then he went to dinner Saturday night to have dinner at the Capitol with the governor. Wow. Then on Sunday morning, he came to see me and Julie. I'm like the 3rd out of 3 on that thing. But you can only do that in Nebraska. So we get out here because we love people. We love being out in the community. We love the action. And that's the thing, like, across the country, people don't know what's here. I'm like, guys, like, you don't understand what Omaha is. You don't understand what Lincoln is. I mean, we are vibing. We have the coolest stuff. My job, and I'm kind of an old school guy. I don't like cameras. I have to for my recruiting, I have to make sure people across the country know that, man, we got the best of the best. Like last night, Orpheum had MJ. I had tickets to MJ last night. Like, we have everything that you could ever want, and also like a cool cost of living and nice people. It's pretty cool.
I always tell people, if you can't find something to do, that's your fault. There's plenty to do. I don't think you've talked about this before. I covered the Saints for a long time, years ago. So I know what it's like to be around a head coach when they're struggling. I've seen that. You went through it, obviously, in Carolina. How was it for your kids? How did they handle it?
Awful.
It had to be.
Yeah. The hardest thing about it is it's like there's not a coach in the country. There's not a financial advisor. There's not a school president that's not doing their best. And so when you're not successful, people, they look at you, they come at you as if you're not trying hard. You're doing the best you can every day. And so I think the hardest thing is like, your kids, like, it's one thing not to be successful. It's another thing, like, when there's vitriol, there's hate, but you know what, at the same time, I also have kids that have stood on the field and watched the Husker volleyball team. Like, my daughter got a chance to be on the field and see Harper Moore and those guys. They get access that no one else gets. My son he's got a towel on the field waving with the guys. So I said, like, hey, to whom much is given, much is required. So, like, you have to accept the fact that, like, if I choose this, I get this. My son, last year, Julie and I encouraged him, like, hey, go find a school, like, do your own thing, find your own path. He wanted to be at UNL. He was like, I want to be a part of this. I love Nebraska. He was there. So, you know, we beat Colorado. Things were pretty good that night, right?
Yeah, sure.
You lose to UCLA, things are bad that night. But he learned at the end of the day, like, that's also how it is for Dylan, for Ja'Cory. For all our student athletes, man, like everyone's like, oh, they get it so easy. No, they have to handle all the stuff that comes with the other part of it. So, I will say this, though. My wife walks to every game.
Yeah.
She walks home after every game. I mean, she walks home after every game down 10th Street with all the fans, and no one's ever been rude to her.
No.
That you can only say that because at Nebraska, people are so good.
Yeah, my wife said this about you guys, too. You're much stronger than us to leave your son back in Carolina. My kid's been in Europe for like 6 days, and we're freaking out. You leave him there for a year. I know it had to be done because you want him to finish school there, but that had to be difficult.
Yeah, so I didn't want to take the job, not because I didn't want to take this job, because I wanted to be with my son his senior year.
Yeah.
My son went to 14 different schools because of my job.
Wow.
And I felt like my only job in life was to make sure he went to one high school the whole way through. And he found a school that fit him. So my son was born early. As he went through life, you know, just all these different dyslexic. And some people say my son's dyslexic. My son, you know, he hits all those things. And so we found a school in Charlotte that found out how to speak to him, how to teach him, how he could learn. And it was life-changing. People sometimes will say to me, like, hey, you know, Carolina, probably not a part of your life you want to talk about. What are you talking about? Like, my family was changed. Like, my kids were uplifted because of the schools we found there. So, but I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to take the job. And my son was like, you know, Trev and Angie did a great job. They were like, you know, hey, this is the job for you. My son was like, take the job. I'm a man. I'm like, you're 16. He's like, I'm a man. I said, you're not a man until you pay your own cell phone bill. That's my rule.
So, and insurance, yeah.
So he was like, take the job. And my parents, you know, my parents lived in a house on the lake in Charlotte. Bryant lived in a nice house over here. When I took this job, the Panthers, they decided to stop paying me. So, like, it wasn't like, hey, we'll pay you the difference. They didn't pay me. So we said, hey, guys, you guys all, we had to sell everything and move into an apartment, you know. And they did. And you know what? They loved it. My parents loved having time with my kid. My kid, he went from, like, kind of listening to, like, he listened all the time. I was like, Dad, is he listening? He's like, every day. I'm like, am I the worst father of all time? But I guess my point is like, for us, the investment we made in Nebraska was not me. It was Bryant doing that. It was Julie saying, hey, it's okay. It was my mom and dad selling everything to move into this, you know, play, you know, to be with him. And so that's why we're so invested in this. People think I'm nuts sometimes. I walk through the facility, like, something's on the ground, I pick it up, and they're like, why are you doing this? Well, it's not the Nebraska facility. It's my facility. Not that I own it, but, like, I'm so invested in it because they've done so much for me. Nebraska's done so much for me and my family.
Last two things. One, how much, and I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this, but high school recruiting is such a big deal. There's so many companies that cover it, and I have friends who recover it. Where is it now in terms of what it used to be? Because a lot of portal guys coming from junior college, all that. What is high school recruiting right now for you as a head coach?
Well, I'll be honest. I just spent an hour with Joe Moglia. Him and I
love
just
Joe.
but like
coach with the Nighthawks when I was calling their games.
First time I've ever met him.
Oh, good guy.
And he blew my mind on some things. Like I need to go back and like get in a room and like he talked about recruiting evaluation. He talked about like, you know, the companies are all really good. They pull you towards like groupthink. They pull you towards like, hey, this kid's good, this kid's good, this kid's good. But like, if you just trust your own eyes, you'll say this kid's good, right?
Yeah.
And so, recruiting's changed. You're taking less high school guys.
Sure.
There's pressure. Hey, take these kids. And I spoke a couple weeks ago at an event for an insurance company, and I said, any questions after talking to these business leaders? And the first 3 questions were like, why are you not recruiting this kid from Omaha, this kid from here? We're recruiting everyone. We want Nebraska kids.
Yeah.
But it's just covered so much that if you don't call a kid, it is so strong. And so I think the best thing you can do is to pull yourself away and say, at the end of the day, what's my job? My job, not my passion, not my purpose, but my job is to put the right people on the bus at Nebraska, coaching staff, player-wise, make hard decisions, and then let them go. And so I have to make recruiting's different now. I have to make hard decisions. They have to make hard decisions. It used to be you said, hey, here's a scholarship. Now it's like, here's a scholarship. And the next question is, and?
And?
I'm like, am I getting this amount of money, that amount of money? And it's so different. So, but we're adaptable. We love football. You know, I'll go watch a little bit of the baseball game tonight. The whole time I'll be thinking about like NIL recruiting, rev share, these 2027 recruits. Like I love football, and I'm so happy with where Nebraska is because I'm just telling you, Trev Alberts told me to take this job because he said, hey, this is where the place is going to be in a couple of years. Rev share, all my peers in the Big Ten, not all of them, most of them, like they're trying to figure out what they need to cut to get the money.
Yeah.
And in Nebraska, like we don't have to cut anything. Like we can still give great academic services. Do you know that 84% of our student athletes had over 3.0 this spring?
Wow.
We had 2 kids under 2.0. One kid lost his mother in the middle of the semester, so he was home for months as she was dying of cancer, and unfortunately he ended up under 2.0. Another kid was in engineering, and he was taking classes I couldn't pronounce. So, and I was a political science major. I was like, listen, hey, next semester pick it up. Yeah. We have elite academics. We are performing at a level that football teams across the country do not perform.
Oh yeah.
In the community. So, I'm proud of where we are. I'm proud of what our kids do. I think we're doing things better than they've ever been done in terms of not history of here. Way they're being done in college football right now. Yeah. Now we got to go win. Yeah. When you win, it justifies everything.
Yeah, truly, the MVP, Dennis LeBlanc, has been for a long time there. The work that man does is incredible. One last question. You put extra pressure on yourself bringing up the third-year thing a lot. You know, obviously you've had success in the third year. You have brought it up and said, listen, this is our third year. Do you understand what you're saying to the fan? This is a fan base that's really in dire need of winning. When you say that, do you kind of understand what you're promising them?
Well, first of all, I love our fan base. Yeah. Let's start there. Number 2, does it matter what I say? Like, they're so hungry for it. Sure. When I speak, I'm speaking to our players first. Uh-huh. We have to go from a place. Like, I'll never forget UCLA last year. Like, it was Dylan and I were sitting in the training table the other day, and he looked up and goes, man, it was 13-7 at halftime of UCLA. We were getting booed as we walked off the field, 13-7 down. Like, I don't know what it was like back in the day, but, like, I don't remember ever at Penn State getting booed down 13-7. Why did we get booed? Because all year they said UCLA is a win. UCLA is not that good. Hey, we're going to win this week. Yeah. We have to change the entire psyche of, like, guess what? If you're good, everyone's coming after you. You better be ready for the whole thing. And so I'm trying to get our guys to understand, like, there's a pressure that you should be comfortable with. There is an expectation you should be comfortable with. It will never be easy. It will always be hard. And I'll tell you this. Mm-hmm. Last year was one of the most least fun years I've had in coaching in a long time. Until now, Colorado was fun. Sure. Wisconsin was fun, but through the whole year, it's kind of like, it's not that much fun in year 2 of a 3-year rebuild. The bowl game, those 2 weeks might have been the most fun I've had in coaching in my whole life. Wow. If you ever could get a camera and watch me at the bowl game, I stood like this the entire game. I'd talk a little trash to Dana. I was like, Dana, are we going to throw the ball? Are we going to run it? I'm a run guy. I'm like, Dana, are we going to throw the ball? Are we going to run it? He's over there. But I had that peace because the guys that were there were the guys that didn't go in the portal. They didn't leverage us. They loved Nebraska. They wanted to be there. They enjoyed the bowl trip. We got the bowl game, and people were like, people left and right were attacked. Like, Coach, why are we going here? I'm like, you told me you wanted a bowl game. Now we're upset about where we're going.
Right.
I just believe in gratitude. I just believe in being grateful. I just believe in, like, oh my gosh, someone wants to let us play a 13th game, which we haven't played in 7 years. And I think I want our guys to understand that there's an expectation, a pressure. We should be good. Yeah. We've done this for 3 years. We should be good. And so if we're not good, blame it on me. I would rather go down as being the guy at Nebraska that failed trying to raise the level of expectation than being the guy that came there and just tried to milk, the system for, to hang on and make as much money as possible. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to feed the machine. The machine's going to go no matter what. Yeah. You guys, people aren't going to watch you if you say, like, hey, let's go 6-6 this year, right? So
no, right?
You guys have a job to do, but my job is to make sure our kids understand you came to Nebraska to be the best. Nebraska is the best in a lot of things. Let's be best in football, too.
Yeah, what you did for Amir Johnson, after losing his mom, going to his, 15 miles from where he lived, grew up, and running and getting that touchdown early on in the game, that was... I get emotional listening to him talk about what it meant for him to be in that game after what he went through that whole year. It was incredible.
And think about my job. Talking about the challenge I have. So when he was going through that, when he was flying back to New York to be with his mom, 3 people knew. EJ Barthel, Amir Johnson, Matt Rhule. So as I'm sitting in the things and people are asking me, like, what's wrong with this? What's wrong? And I get that's everyone's job.
Yeah.
I have the greatest job in the world. I get to be a part of these kids' lives and see what's happening beyond the curtain. So I just want our kids to understand, like, if you can deal with that, if you can deal with that, man, we can go beat these teams. And so that's where we're at now. Year 3, I believe in what we do. We're going to be pretty good, bro.
Coach, I appreciate it.
Thank you
very much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. That's a special edition Let It Fly show with Coach Matt Rhule.